In this lesson, we are going to implement order history for customer. When user click on their name in the header menu, we are going to add order history item to the drop-down menu. And by clicking on this button, we are going to implement orders page. Here, we show all orders of current user by showing the status of them and a button to go to the details page of, and in the action column, we have details button to go to the details page of each order, like this. Source code of this lesson, like always, is on the GitHub repository. For this lesson, go to commit section, find video 19, create order history page, click on it. Here you have all the code that I have used in this lesson. Let's get to code. Here is the plan to create order history page. Let us start by creating user folder in app. Inside app folder, create a new folder for user. And inside that, create a new component, set name to main nav.tsx. It's the main navigation menu for user layout. Here is the code. It's a client-side component. What we're gonna do here is to create a list of links. The first link is user profile, second one user orders. That's what we're gonna do in this lesson. And second link is for user settings. It's gonna be just a simple page, but it can have all settings for user, including addresses, etc. Then export default function main nav. It accepts class name and props as property. What we're gonna do here is to get the path name using use path name, and in the return part, render navigation, set class name to flex item center space horizontally, and for large screen, make space more, and merge the class name passed to this function with this one. Then convert each link, here is the link that we have defined, to a link next slash link. Set key to make it unique, set href to item.href. But for class name, here I'm going to use the path name if current URL equal to this item, then set class name to empty, otherwise make the text muted. It's like gray color. It means that this one is not active. In the link, render item.name as caption of this link. Great. Here we have list of menu items in the header menu for user dashboard, and it's time to create a layout for user. In the same folder, create new file layout.tsx. Here is user dashboard layout. It's an async function that accepts children, import React. In the return part, return empty container, and then inside that create a div, make it flex column, and then create another div. This one is the header, create border button, then inside the header create a div, set height to 16 rem, item center, and here I am going to render the logo of the website in a link to the homepage. Import link from next/link and image from next/image. Set the source to logo, set width and height, and alternative text to the app name imported from constant. After link, render main menu, import it from main menu in the same folder. We already created this. And after main menu, render the menu from component/shared/header/menu. At the end, render children to render page content in this layout. Save the code. Let's go for next step. It's creating order history page. We need to create orders folder and page.tsx inside user. Go to user, new folder, orders. Inside that, new file, page.tsx. Here is the code. Set page title to my orders dash app name, import metadata from next, and render orders page It accepts search as parameter because we need to get the current page. We are going to implement pagination for orders. That's why I need to get the page from the query string and then call this function, get my orders. We implement this later. The parameter to this function is current page and limit. We are going to show by default page number 1, 6, last 6 orders of current user. In the return part, return a div, create vertical space, in heading 2 render orders, and in a div render a table from chat.cn. Let's import all stuff about table from components/UI/table like this. Import them, table body, table cell, format datetime, format currency, next/link. This error will be fixed after implementing getMyOrders function. Don't worry about this one. So what we're gonna do here is to create getMyOrders function and then implement pagination component. Let us start with getMyOrders. Go to order actions, scroll up. Right after getOrderById, define getMyOrders like this. It accepts 2 parameters, limit and page. Limit comes from page size. Let's define page size in constants /index. Right before payment method, export const page size. We can set it in the environment variables, but if there is no value, use 3 as default. Save the code. Go back to order actions, import page size from constant folder. So limit is of type number, it can be null. Page of type number. Inside that, get access to the session. If user is not authenticated, raise an error. Otherwise, call find many on orders table. We are going to get multiple records from the orders table. That's why I'm using find many. In the where condition, return all records in the orders that their user ID is equal to current user ID. In the sort criteria, sort descending, import from the Drizzle ORM based on creation date. Then set the limit and offset. Limit is coming from page parameter. By default, it's page size. And the offset is current page -1 multiplied by limit. By having this, we can implement pagination through page and limit parameter to get my orders function. For pagination, we need to have record counts. So here I'm using data counts by calling select function on the Drizzle ORM DB instance. And here I'm calling count from the Drizzle ORM from orders table where user ID is equal to current user. By running this function, I can find all orders, number of all orders for current user in data count, but I need to get the first element of data count and fetch and get count field of this array of this object. In the return part, return the data. Here is list of all records and total pages come from this expression, count of orders divided by page limit. Get the ceiling of it. That's it about getMyOrders. Let's save the code, go back to page.tsx, import it right here, and go for last step in this lesson, which is implementing pagination. Go to component folder, shared, new file, pagination.tsx. Here is the code. It's a client-side component. Import use router and use search params from nexus/navigation and import React. Then we need to implement form URL query. Let's go to the live/util. At the very end, define form URL query. It accepts 3 parameters, params, key, and values. Inside that, we are parsing the parameters using qs.parse. Let's install QS package. In a new terminal, pnpm add query string. It's a package to parse query string and import it at the beginning of utils.ts, go back at the end. So what we are doing here is to parse the parameter, get current URL, and change current URL array value for current key to this value. At the end, return a stringify URL. As a first parameter, set the URL to current path, set query to the edited query, and as a second parameter, we have options for a stringify and its skip null equal to true. Save the code, go back to pagination. There is no error here. Import button from chat.cn and set the props of pagination component to this type. We have page, total pages, and URL params name. Inside this component, get access to the router and search params from Next.js. Implement onClick function. It accepts button type of a string. If the button type is number, is next, set the page value to current page +1, otherwise -1. It's the back button. Then create a new URL using form URL query and redirect user to the new URL and set a scroll to false. In the return part, render a div using flex and create gap between them. Here we have first button, previous button. When user click on it, onClick prev will be called. But if page is equal to 1 or less than 1, make it disable. Because it's previous, we want to make it disable if we are in page 1. The second one is next button, and at the end, export default pagination. Go back to the page.tsx in app user orders and import it right here. If total pages is greater than 1, then render pagination, pass two parameters to pagination, current page and total pages. Current page is coming from where? The URL, and total pages is coming from getMyOrders function. Save the code and go to user button in component shared header folder. Find the drop down menu item right before sign out. Create a drop down menu item, set link to /user/orders. Save the code. Let's check the result. Go to localhost column 3000, click on your username and click on order history. Awesome. We successfully implemented user order history like this. Here we have list of all orders. And here is the user dashboard. Here we have e-commerce logo, profile, orders, setting menu. And on the right side, we have menu, header menu, the cart, and current user. So if you want to go to the homepage, just click on this icon. If you want to go to the user dashboard, click on order history to check list of all orders. In the next lesson, we implement profile page to update user profile and just a simple page for setting. Until next lesson, bye-bye.